It is with great pleasure that I welcome Mr. Benjamin Creme.
Good evening, everyone. We are about to open our eyes and minds to such knowledge, such happenings that if I could recount them all, not only would you find it difficult to believe, you would find it difficult to comprehend, to take in. The changes will be so great between now, 2001, and say the next 25 years. You will feel you are living, if you are young enough to continue in that time, you are living in a new world, a new and different planet. Well, it will be the same planet, but transformed. And transformed, I suggest, because of the entry now into our life of those elder brothers of humanity who have simply gone ahead of us in evolution, who have reached the end of the evolutionary journey on this planet, and who have nowhere else to go, it would seem. You can only go to the end, and then you have a decision. You go on to higher planets, maybe a higher solar system. But many of these men who have reached that point of decision, luckily for us, elect to remain on Earth and help to oversee the evolution of the rest of us and the lower kingdoms. And this group, it's a very large group, form the inner government, as it were, of the planet. They are the custodians of the evolutionary plan of planet Earth. Every planet has an ensouling entity or God, a logos. And the logos, that ensouling entity, the heavenly man who ensouls the planet, has plans for it. Otherwise he wouldn't bother to ensoul it. He has plans for its evolution, and these plans involve the human kingdom, the lower kingdoms, the higher kingdoms, and all the vast collection of different forms of manifestation which his imagination, his knowledge, and his creativity brings into play on the planet. As far as this planet is concerned, our logos, our heavenly man, has a very specific plan of evolution, and the masters of wisdom, as they're called, those elder brothers of humanity, are those who handle, because they're the only ones who know about it, handle the plan, the evolution which is specific. Most people, I think, know nothing about the plan of evolution. They don't know that things proceed according to a plan, but they do, very much so. The plan is not a set of blueprints which have to be followed exactly. It's a very creative plan. It grows from moment to moment. As humanity evolves, so humanity enters more and more consciously into the nature of the plan and of his or her part in that plan. That's one of the beauties of evolution. You evolve. You don't stay at the same point. You evolve. You become better, more evolved. You become wiser. You become a better person in the sense of more creative, more able to handle the niceties, the difficulties of the plan, and to help to put that plan into effect. And so, behind the scenes of our life, there has been, from the beginning of time on planet Earth, a structure which is broadly, generally known as the esoteric or spiritual hierarchy of planet Earth. That hierarchy is made up of those members of the human kingdom who have evolved to a point where they need no further evolution. They are achieved, they are adepts, they are masters of wisdom, and some of them, the very highest of them, are called lords of compassion. The head and leader of that group of perfected men, the masters of wisdom, is the Lord Maitreya. He is one of the three lords of compassion, and he embodies in his being what we call the Christ principle, the energy of love. He is the Lord of love. And 2,000 years ago, he did what had happened over and over again. It was the normal way for the presentation of the teacher to the world. He overshadowed, as it's called, his consciousness came into the consciousness of Jesus for 3 years, from the baptism to the crucifixion. And during these 3 years, people saw Jesus, but they saw Jesus as the Christ consciousness, embodied by the Lord Maitreya, manifested through Jesus. Jesus became the observer of what happened. Sometimes the consciousness of Maitreya alone was in that body of Jesus. Sometimes the consciousness of Jesus was in that body alone. And sometimes the consciousness of Maitreya and the consciousness of Jesus were simultaneously in that body. And as I say, Jesus was the observer of everything that happened through him. But it was the consciousness of Maitreya who embodies the Christ principle and is the Christ of this planet, which manifested through Jesus for these 3 years. Now, as I've said, Jesus is a very, very advanced master. He's a 6th degree initiate. As Jesus, he was a 4th degree initiate. He took that initiation on the cross and is now a 6th degree initiate, one of the closest workers, brothers, colleagues of Maitreya, the world teacher, and they are practically, I would say, inseparable, and they work together all the time. And Jesus is one of the masters most evolved with this coming transformation of the earth.